Hi, beautiful people. It's the queen of real estate herself, Sapphire Star with Queens Buy Houses. It's another live. Hey. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to come into the space. Today, we're going to be talking about the ABCs of wholesaling plus Q&A. Any questions you may have about investing in real estate, about wholesaling, about making money in real estate, please feel free to put it in the comment section. Man, I don't have no music for y'all today because my remote is over there. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the This is free entertainment and it's going to change your life. I'm telling you, it's changed my life. So the other day, Miss Kim Carter-Williams, a real estate agent and my sister in Savannah, Georgia. If you're looking for a realtor, please go check her out. She asked the question, it was a really good question. She was like, how much time should you dedicate per week to be successful in real estate? And my answer, obviously that's relative because everybody has different times based on different schedules or whatever. But honestly, when I started my company, I literally invested 2 to 4 hours every single day to my business. And especially when I first got it started, it was either looking at videos on Bigger Pocket podcasts, reading real estate books. Like I spent as much time as I possibly could, but obviously having a schedule, right? So I would do 2 to 4 hours. But my answer to that would be dedicate at least 2 hours to learning and networking and getting as much information and knowledge as you can to be successful in real estate. And honestly, that's anything in life, whether it's your business, whether it's your health, your self-care, anything in life. If you want to be successful, you have to be able to commit time to learn how to do a thing, execute that thing, and make things happen. Speaking of education, because I'm always learning. So I'm super excited. My book came in. This is Raising Private Capital, Building Your Real Estate Empire Using Other People's Money by Matt Faircloth. I have not read it yet, so I can't really tell you whether it's good or bad, but I feel like it is definitely going to be an amazing book because this is one of Bigger Pockets authors. You know, they have several books. If you haven't, check them out at biggerpockets.com. But I got this from Amazon. I'm super excited because I have a goal to raise capital for our fix and flip project that we're working on in downtown Atlanta. Like I always say, if you want to be a part of that opportunity, you want to be able to invest in real estate without the work that's involved with dealing with a fix and flip. Hey, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining the live. Definitely send me an email, and I will definitely give you more information on how you can take advantage of that, and you can, make money, at least an 8 to 10% return on your money. So if you have at least $10,000 sitting in a retirement account, you can make and grow your money that way and create passive income. So definitely let me know about that. You can send an email to queensbuyhouses@gmail.com. Also, too, guys, these lives, I only have like 10 to 15 minutes to do these lives. I do plan on doing a wholesale class where maybe like an hour or 2 hours where you come in and you learn a little bit more in depth about how you can get started in real estate through wholesaling. If you're interested, please put your email in the comment section or shoot me a DM and send me your email. I will put you on our waiting list. So when that class is available, I will send you the information. You can always go to my website as well and contact us with www.queensbuyhouses.com to get more information. So, and we do plan on having classes and workshop and boot camps. And I also offer coaching and consulting as well. So sapphirestar.com, 2 R's, if you're interested in getting a blueprint. If you want a deep dive and strategy for getting into real estate and need direction and a plan, we also offer consulting for that as well, if you need help with certain things. So, all right, let's get into it. The ABCs of wholesaling plus Q&A. Please, if you have any questions, please put it in the comment section below. Did I answer that question about how much time? Yeah, at least 2 hours, at least, to be successful, minimally. So the ABCs of wholesaling. Number one, stay hydrated. Don't be thirsty in the streets. All right. So what is the ABCs of wholesaling? So it's literally that. Think about A, B, C, right? So in a successful wholesale real estate transaction, you need a motivated seller. And let's call motivated seller A, right? You, as the wholesaler, you are B, right? So it's your job as a wholesaler to be a wholesaler. You see what I did there? To be a wholesaler, you need to find a motivated seller, right? You find a motivated seller. How can you find this motivated seller? I talked about this so many times in my other lives. If you haven't watched them, go back, watch them. Follow my page at Queens Buy Houses, and you can go back and watch the previous lives that we've done. So how do you find this motivated seller, right? So 3 ways you can do that is you can drive for dollars, get in your vehicle, start looking for distressed properties, vacant properties, skip trace the owner, call the owner, make a deal, make it happen. Number 2, MLS. You can go to, these are free ways you can do this. So you can go on Zillow and put in a search, and you want to look for properties in your area that has been on the MLS for greater than 90 days. To, what that says is that's somebody who wants to sell their house, but they haven't been able to sell it in the last 90 days. And what that tells you is that they may be motivated to make a deal with you. And so if you can get that property below market value, get it under contract, then you can sell that, then you can put it under contract and assign that contract to someone for a fee, right? And the third place that you can find motivated sellers is expired listings. Now, expired listings, you definitely need to have a relationship with a real estate agent to be able to get that list. But even if you don't have a relationship, which you should have, if you want to get into real estate, you definitely want to start networking with real estate agents to create a relationship, because they can definitely help you in your journey. But if you don't have a relationship with a real estate agent, you can use real estate software. I think I've heard some wholesalers use Privy. I've never used it before, but I've heard many good things about it. We use PropStream with our company. We use PropStreams to find expired listings. Why is that important? Because obviously they wanted to sell their house. They couldn't sell their house, right? And so this is a great, great opportunity for you to jump in and say, hey, I can make you an offer and get them under contract. So finding motivated sellers. So you're B, you find a motivated seller, you get them under contract. So now there's a contract between A and D. In this example, I'm gonna say is, say for instance, you find a property, you get it under contract for $100,000. So now that's the contract that you have. In between, before we get to B to C, right? Because it's A, B, C, you got A to B, there's a contract. Now, what's very, very important in between all of this really is being able to run your numbers. What exactly is a good deal, right? You need to learn the MAO, the maximum allowable offer. That's what that stands for. You need to know what ARV is, or how to calculate the ARV, or find your ARV. My connection is acting up. You need to be able to assess repairs. Why is this important? Because whoever you're assigning your contract to, they are the ones, the investor, they're the ones that are going to be able to take this property over and be able to make money off of the property. But if you haven't evaluated a property and ran your numbers adequately enough, you're going to take money off the table from your investor, which could leave your deal dead in the water. So I see a lot of wholesalers out here overestimating the ARV and underestimating repairs. It's very, very important that you understand your numbers. Even though you're not the one doing the fix and flip of the property, you still need to evaluate and assess the numbers to be able to give this to an investor who is going to do the work. right? And that's going to increase your chances of getting your first wholesale deal in 2023, right? So Mayo maximum allowable offer, which is ARV times 0.70, is called the 70% rule. When you get a chance, Google it. 0.70. Some investors use 0.65, some use 0.75. It just depends on your market, but just a rough rule, 70% rule is ARV times 0.70 minus repairs minus your fee, right? That's your Mayo. That's the maximum allowable offer. Then define your comps. Again, you want to look in areas that are at least 0.5 to 1 mile away from your potential property, within 20 plus or minus years of year built, plus or minus 20% of square footage. And what else did I leave out? Again, like I said, apples to apples. So if it's a 3-2, compare 3-2s, unless there's an opportunity to add on. But that's just a general rule with that, being able to do your comps to come up with your ARV, which is your after repair value. So once you've added value to the property, because you get it under market, you can force value, force equity into property by fixing it up. What could that look like? So you have, I forgot, 6 months, within the 6 month time period. So you go 6 months back. So you look for properties that have sold in the 6 months within those criteria I just shared with finding comps. And that gives you an idea, okay, well, how much could a potential investor make if they fix this property up? That's your ARV. And then repairs. You want to be able to have a good eye. And when I do my class, I'll go more in depth about how you can roughly get an idea of what repairs are going to cost based on the systems that may need to be done. If it needs the kitchen and bathroom update, if it needs a roof, if it needs HVAC, if it needs electrical, if it needs plumbing, if you have to tear the whole thing down. But these are things that you can quickly assess when you look at the property and get as many pictures as you can for yourself, but also for your investor, because this is going to help with the property. All right, so those in between. So now we have a contract between A to B for $100,000. Now you're going to find your end buyer. That's C. End buyer is the person that you're going to assign your contract to. So you have a contract with the seller A, your B for $100,000. You can now, based on your numbers, say for instance you want to sell the property or assign the property for $120,000. So there's two ways you can do that. And this is I'm talking about forms and things that you need as well. And don't get too caught up in like, well, oh my God, I don't know what forms I need. I don't know an attorney. I don't know title. I mean, none. People will help you with that. I can help you with that. It is overwhelming and daunting, but don't let that stop you from pursuing a deal, because you can ask questions. You can get help with that. And we can help you with your transactions and everything too. So $120,000, you have an assignment. You can assign, so that's your second document in this transaction. You can assign that contract to your end buyer. So see, we have two documents in place. We have a contract with A and B for $100,000, and now we have a contract with B and C for $120,000. That goes to close. You've now made $20,000. Can you see how that happened? We got $100,000 here under contract. We wholesaled it under value, well, for a certain amount, and then we sold it, or we assigned it. Let me not say sold. Assigned it for $20,000. Now, the other way you can do that is you have contract with A and B. You can also have a contract between B and C. And this contract is called a purchase and sale agreement. So either you're going to assign it to an investor, or you're going to have a separate contract which means you close on the property. They call it a double closing. You literally can close on property between A and B and sell the property B to C on the same day. Now you may be asking, well, where do I get the money to do that? If you have a property under contract and he's like, where do I get this $100,000? They have something called transactional funding and lending, where someone literally can lend you money for a few hours to close the deal and then be able to sell the deal and be able to get the money back. Because some places allow you to do double closing without transactional funding. Some attorneys, I should say, where they're literally using the money from the first close to buy the property and then be able to sell it to the other person. So that $100,000 that's now in escrow, say for instance, you close with property with the seller A at 10 a.m., you could do the second closing at 2 p.m. So you're using the money from the first one to sell off the second one. And so that's essentially like kind of like not a nutshell, but a quick like overview of how that works. Before I got into wholesaling, I was just like, well, how does this work? Like you read on the internet and you look at videos, but it seemed was very overwhelming. But once somebody broke it down to me like that, A, B, C, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense, like in the greater scheme of things. Obviously, there's little nuances in between that, because I think the most difficult thing for people is not necessarily that ABC. It's really talking to sellers, convincing sellers, you know, that, hey, sell me your property. Well, that was the hardest for me. And so in dealing with seller objections, when you call someone, it was like, who are you? Get off my line. Like, I'm not selling. So how can you turn a no to yes? And I can do another live and talk about dealing with seller objections. But honestly, I feel like in this journey of me learning to me was the hardest part. You can find money. You don't have to really, you know, because if you assign this contract to an end buyer, they're the ones that do all the closing costs. They're the ones that handle the inspections. They do all that. So assignment, you know, you can literally do this with no money and no credit. But again, you have to be able to dedicate time to your education and knowledge and understanding how this works. And listen, really the best way you can learn how to do this is just to put yourself out there and do it. Hop in your car, look for properties. Like I said, I'm a buyer. So some people always, also another hurdle some people may have is, you know, seller objections, talking to seller, but also finding your end buyer. You're like, well, where do I find? Listen, buyers are everywhere. You can find buyers, especially with social media. You have these Facebook groups. You can go on public records and see who recently purchased property. You can send properties to me. I'm going to share my buy box with you guys. When I'm done with the live, I'll put it on my page so you can see what we're looking for, where we're looking for. Don't let that stop you. You can find buyers and you can start working on your buyers list as well, but don't let that stop you from making your first wholesale deal in 2023. So again, that has been my 8. Let me see if I have any questions. No questions. How long have I been on here? Let me see. I started 11 Pacific Time Standard Time. Yeah, so I've been on here maybe like 10, 15, almost 20 minutes. So in the replay, if you have any questions, just, you know, put it in the comment section. Please make sure that you share with anybody you think that would benefit from, you know, learning about wholesaling or just real estate in general. Please share. This helps get the information out there to people. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you. Shy, you have any questions for me? I see you down there. You have any questions for me? Something that somebody else maybe didn't think to ask. Yeah, so I'll be back on tomorrow and maybe I'll talk about dealing with seller objections, because that's a very real thing, is learning how to talk to people. But it shouldn't stop you. It should not stop you from being great in this space. And you know, I want to end with this, and I was reading this in the book, and I should have led with this, but I forgot. Where is it? What is this? What is this? I can't see. When is this course? Sooner than later, guys. Drop your email. Send me a DM. I will put you on the list, and we will definitely send you out the Zoom link when this course is available. So sooner than later. It's coming. But I'm gonna end with this. I should have led with this, but I'm gonna end with this. So just investing in real estate in general and wholesaling. But think about it like this. Think about the scariest thing you ever done and how you felt afterwards, right? And so that's what real estate felt like to me. Like the scariest, probably one of the scariest things I embarked on. But honestly, after I got myself into it, I'm like, how do you feel about that? It's like, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, or as difficult as I thought. Obviously, it comes with challenges, but I'm just saying it wasn't as bad as I thought. And guess what? I didn't die. So that's really what investing in real estate is about. It's like, it may be one of the scariest things you ever embark on, but really, honestly, when you get into it, like, man, this could be the best thing that you could ever do in your life, for yourself, for your community, for your family. Listen, this could be a game changer generationally. Think about changing generation. Think about breaking generational curse. Think about, but think about having options. Think about like not working your whole entire life like our parents may have done, and breaking their back, right? And so that's what I'm gonna end with. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Be great.